Well, hello there. Welcome to my weekly energy reading, my view of the world, anyway, in my opinion. I'm Karen, of course. It's the 19th of December 2022, and I'm calling this video, Can You Hold the Consciousness of the Awakening? The consciousness of being awake. Because we say we want the truth, but do we really? Do we just want the parts that don't affect us too much or that don't inconvenience life as we know it, even though the whole world has been turned upside down in the last 3 years, of course? Over the years, I've spent a lot of money buying music CDs, buying DVDs. I've got designer handbags. I've bought books from, spiritual teachers or speakers that I thought were legit, you know. I've taken my kids to Disney World and Euro Disney. But now, with what I know about some of these things, it makes me feel sick to my stomach that I even supported these people with my money, my buying power. When you know what an actor or a musician has been doing behind the scenes, underground, hidden, covered up, and protected by all of the people that are in it together, it's just so sickening that I actually can't watch their movies anymore and I can't listen to their music anymore. It's very sad and it's very disappointing. They told us right at the start, early 2020, that we're all in this together. Well, we're not all in this together. They are in it together, but we're not. We are different. But as with anything, with this dark agenda that they're running, they invite us to participate. We have to consent to participate. This is why there's an expression, everything is hidden in plain sight. We talk about the elephant in the room, that no one wants to address. But the thing is, they invite us to participate in their agenda. We don't realize that they are inviting us and we just go right along with it. Because for the most part, we've given our power away not really knowing the power that we have. So they invite us to participate. They offer these things to us and we jump in. Even in, we know that in Disney movies, there's terrible subliminals, but we still participate in it. Their sickness is operating at every level, in every sector. It's affecting our lives already. This is much more than movies or songs or handbags. This is through the medical system, the banking, politics, the climate. Every aspect of our lives has been contaminated by their dark agenda that we have gone along with because we didn't know. Sometimes we did know and we still went along with it. That's the frustrating part, because we're putting our energy in to build, their crappy vision for us, for our future. So we all want the truth, or we say we do. But what do we do with the truth when we've got it? Will you still go and buy the latest Disney movie for your kids, knowing full well that there's going to be subliminals in there that you haven't identified yet? Will you still get a digital app on your phone so that you can participate in society because they said you have to show the green tick of compliance before you can go in? Will you allow them to brainwash and confuse your children about their own bodies and not say a word because it's politically incorrect to speak up against the agenda that's hell-bent on not just dividing and conquering the masculine and feminine part, but divide and conquer us as humans in society at every level? Locking people away, dictating who can go where. It's all too much. They try to divide us in every aspect of our life. It's always one group against the other. Colour, race, gender, political party, allopathic against homeopathic, jabbed against unjabbed. It's pitching us against each other constantly. And this has even come down into our families. There will be people this Christmas that are going to be alone. They're not invited to the family because they made a decision that the family didn't agree upon. And that's if you're even allowed to talk about Christmas and wish someone a happy Christmas these days, for goodness sake. It's so frustrating when people, really can't see this and can't move beyond it. We're meant to be connecting with love and, through our heart, that heart connection. But everyone wants everyone else to see things our way. That's the frustrating part, because we think we're right. I think I'm right in what I'm talking about today. It's my opinion. I think I'm right, or else I wouldn't be saying it. You will agree with me, or you won't, because you think you're right too. Vegans think they're right. Meat eaters think they're right. But all of that is actually just a distraction, isn't it, from what's really going on. If you want to eat meat that's come from an animal, I would prefer, if you're going to, that it's been, that it's pure, that it's organic meat, that it's humanely treated as much as possible. But I do draw the line, as most normal human people should. I draw the line at thinking that if you want to eat human meat, it's okay, because it's not okay. Or drinking their blood. Now you might cringe and say, what the hell is she talking about? But yeah, this is what's actually been happening. That's what we're looking at here with some of these reveals. So seriously, I can't listen to Celine anymore. It sickens me. I can't watch Tom. I used to like his movies. And whilst I've never liked Nicole, a lot of people do or did, but I can't look at these people in the same way knowing what they've done. I've never owned a Gucci, but if I did, I wonder, would I have the nerve to actually stand by my truth and cut it up into tiny pieces like I saw one lady do on social media? She had some certain designer handbags. She had a Gucci, she had Balenciaga, and she cut them up. And she said, I'm not having anything to do with this. I really respect her. I also, at the same time, hope that Louis is not involved in this dark satanic shit, because I actually like my purse and my handbags. And I would be severely challenged if I had to think about chopping them up. But anyway, we wait in anticipation of more truth revealing, and some of it is going to be extremely uncomfortable for us. And then when it reveals, what do we do with that information? Will I actually ever have the nerve to chop up my purse just because it's involved with his designer? Who knows? Let me just hope that nothing reveals about Louis Vuitton, hey? Anyway, do we ooh and ah about what's been revealed? Maybe we even vomit a little bit and feel seriously sick. But then life goes on the same. Put your purse back in your handbag and off you go to watch the latest movie with some weird sicko pedophile actor. This is the whole point. You know, when you are awake to something, when you can see what's going on with it, surely life has to change then. It can't be the same once you've got that awakening, that understanding. And yet, we see people go, oh yeah, I heard about that. It's terrible, isn't it? And they just move on to the next thing. And where is the accountability for all of this? These sicko people, they don't ask for amnesty. They just ignore the situation. They just keep moving on. Yeah, I'm a sick pedophile, but I make great movies. Come and watch my latest one. And in the medical profession, oh yeah, I know I've been shoving toxic substances into people's bodies and choosing to keep my mouth shut about what I know just to keep my job because I've got bills to pay. So what do you expect? is that good enough? It's a fine line, isn't it? I understand that people want to keep their jobs, they have bills to pay, but my God, this is people's lives at stake. People are losing their lives over this. We're taught to forgive, as spiritual people, Christians or whatever we call ourselves. We're taught to forgive, but is everything forgivable? Or are there some things that are not forgivable? The harm being done to children, the families who've lost healthy loved ones suddenly and unexpectedly and with no known cause. I mean, crikey, that's BS, isn't it? Do we still believe this? 3 years down the line, we're not suspicious yet? Hell, we are. We were suspicious from day one. People are so dumbed down that they can't put the pieces together. Or is it that by admitting this whole thing just becomes too difficult to bear, so they stick their head back in the sand and they actually fall back to sleep? That's the interesting thing. As I've said before, many people that I've known in spiritual communities were wide awake and now they've gone back to sleep because, again, really, they are not able to hold the consciousness of the awakening to what they know and to what is being revealed. Personally, I believe that people should be held accountable from the top all the way down to the bottom. Anyone who mandated all of this crap should be dealt with, and quite harshly. That's my opinion. If you've messed with people's lives and people's hearts, you need to be held accountable. How many hearts have been broken by these sickos? And how many more that we're not even aware of yet have been affected by this? Because the repercussions of this are not played out yet. They will play out more and more over the next few years, and probably even into generations. People injured by toxins, brainwashed children, boys and girls who can't even work out if they're boys or girls. Toddlers being sexualized by books that they pick up in kindy. My goodness, children trafficked with no voice. And they're even coming after our pets now, apparently. There's too much carbon, so the pets have to go. Shh, don't tell Benji, he's hopefully not listening, he's asleep there. But this is just another spin on cow farts, right? Too much carbon, but we're the carbon, and they're coming after this. When will this stop? Well, it kind of stops when we stop rolling over and taking it. But that's inconvenient, isn't it? It takes more effort to stand up than to just roll over and accept it and carry on. It takes a strong spiritual backbone to stand up for truth. Yet even within spiritual communities, we can see that there is still a form of brainwashing that goes on. It's kind of like wokeism within a spiritual community. Everyone likes to think that they're awake, but there are many different levels of awakeness, just as there are many different levels of consciousness. Each time we waken to a new level by connecting with Spirit or God, our frequency increases and we naturally can see more and we can hold more energetically. As your vibration or frequency increases, you get more and more attuned to what is truth. And it's easier to spot that. We are really in a spiritual war here. It is light against dark, good against evil. This is why it's so important to have this connection with God or Source. Not be solely focused on the information coming out about this dark agenda and the reveal. Because if you don't have your spiritual connection in place as well, you're just going to be getting that information on a mental level. So you're not able to hold it as well. This is why we see, people go into PTSD when they look at too much stuff. I understand that because I had a aspect of that myself. We really have to balance the light and the dark. So we have to really focus on and grow our connection with Spirit. Whether you call that God or Source or the universe or light, whatever. but we need that in place as well. We like free will and choice. In fact, in spiritual communities, we're told that we have free will and choice here. God gave us free will and choice. We believe in that. Yet in these communities, people are only willing to look at the things that won't challenge them or challenge their integrity. How can you apply free will and choice to a situation, for example, of a pedophile and an innocent child who's been groomed and coerced? So many in these spiritual communities don't want to look at that stuff because it's dark. It's going to interfere with their love and light syndrome. Or the drinking of blood products from terrified children, which is available to purchase on the internet, which is freaking disgusting. But this is what's happening. But in spiritual communities, oh no, that's too dark to look at. It challenges my love and light syndrome, so I won't look at that. That's not being awake. That is sticking your head in the sand and not being willing to look at the truth of what's really going on here. You can't call yourself awake when you choose to not look at things because it might be challenging. Sorry if I'm being sarcastic. Until we, all of us, can face the dark that's inside of ourselves, the part of ourselves that knowingly chooses to look away and not want to see when people are being harmed by this. When we choose not to look because it might offend us at the risk of someone else's life, then we're choosing to ignore that. We're choosing to be ignorant of that, and that is not being awake or being conscious. Until we can be fully honest with ourselves that we really can only handle a little bit of this, a little bit of truth, so that it doesn't disturb us too much. Until we admit that we don't want to be inconvenienced by standing up for truth and justice. But we can't expect all of this stuff to reveal and then carry on as life as normal. There has to be a change. We need a change. Everyone says, oh, we need a change. But we seem to only want a change that's convenient to us. There's a whole shitstorm of stuff that still is going to come up, and it's going to inconvenience us in order to break through and make this change. We can't just keep ignoring this and saying, oh my goodness, that can't possibly be. Can't possibly be. I'll look the other way until it passes by, and then I can carry on with my life as normal. What the heck is normal when we've been living in this society where so much dark has been happening all around us and we haven't been able to see? So the awakening is opening your eyes. The awakening is connecting with spirit so that there's so much light here on the planet that the darkness can no longer be hidden. And that's exactly what's happening now. When we choose to awaken and through our connection with spirit, we bring more and more light here, we're gonna see the dark reveal. It's inevitable that this is what's going to happen. But the longer that people comply with, the need for a green tick on an app, for example, the more that this is going to just be dragged out and protracted over time. Nothing will change if we don't stand up and say, no, this cannot continue anymore. I won't do this anymore. The darkness will continue to reside unless we stand up. The darkness doesn't stay within self-imposed boundaries. It spreads steadily until it has impacted every aspect of life and suffocated all of the light and the good that's there. And in fact, that's where we've been living, certainly in the last 3 years. And there were various other agendas that were still due to be played out over the next few years, and it would be really good if we could nip them in the bud before they get there. I'm talking, of course, about, more digital stuff, the ID thing and the central banking, control your money, take it all away thing that is planned. It would be really good if we can not accept their invitation to download that stupid app that IDs us everywhere that we go. For example, in psychology, we understand that somebody only moves away towards pleasure when the pain is so bad that they cannot tolerate it anymore. They keep tolerating it and tolerating until it gets to breaking point. Then they start to move away. Well, have you had enough yet? What is your breaking point? I do hope that everyone has had enough now so that we can actually start moving towards pleasure again, because it'll only get worse until we get to everybody's breaking point, or certainly the vast majority. So what can we do? Well, we can stop supporting the horrific agenda of control. If that means stop buying handbags from weirdo satanic people, stopping supporting their movies, listening to their music, like literally move them out of your reality so that you don't support them anymore. What people don't realize as well is that we're feeding energy into these things all the time. I think I wrote an article in early 2020, I'll have a look for it. They proposed this virus thing, and I even wrote then, if we all put our energy into it, we're building that. You've heard the expression, I'm sure, where attention goes, what's the expression? Where energy flows, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So if we place all of our attention on these things, we're feeding energy into it all the time. We're puffing it up, making it bigger and bigger. And this is the next thing that's coming along. Everybody's going to focus on it and everyone's going to feed energy into it. What we need to do is pull our energy back. No longer comply. No longer go along with their agenda because they want you to feed it. So stop supporting the agenda. We can develop a strong spiritual backbone by connecting with spirit, connecting with our higher self, God, source, universe, whatever you want to call that. But come into your heart, because your answers are all in here. Your truth is in here. As I've said, as you raise your vibration, your frequency, it gets so much easier to see through the lies. You can just feel them. Truth is harmonic. There's a harmony and a balance there. When you hear a lie, when someone is lying to you, it feels like a discordant note on the piano. That's one of the benefits of working on yourself, doing your inner work, looking at your darkness, healing it, raising your vibration. You will see through the lies so much more quickly because you'll feel them. So develop a spiritual practice. Turn off your TV, because we know that that's just propaganda. We can research, because there are many, many scientists coming out and trying to share the truth with us about, medical things and about climate things and all of the politics and all of the dark stuff. There are scientists there trying to get their voices heard. They're being suppressed, but they're there. If you just want to actually research, turn off your TV, research elsewhere. They're desperately trying to call out the truth. They need our support, right? Turn off Netflix, because you know what's going on with Netflix and all these propaganda movies. I've got to admit, this year I've been watching some of these really silly Christmas chick flicks because they're kind of just neutral. There's not propaganda in there. Obviously the boy meets girl and falls in love thing, but that's kind of, it's not dark, right? And they don't seem to be having many of these famous actors in them now. These are new actors coming in some of these movies, which is really nice to see. So if we do these things, if we become wise, if we are willing to accept that when we see all of this dark stuff, that we now are required to change. You can't see the dark stuff all around you and carry on living the same. You have to see it and go, oh no, I can't do that anymore. You know, if you knew that a food that you ate very frequently was harming your body, if you were wise, you would stop eating that food, would you not? And these are the things that are going on all around with music and movies and all of the stuff, right? Which I've mentioned before. I don't need to repeat it. But be wise, okay? When you realize that something is not right, don't continue to participate with it. Make better choices. If we do that, this is where our power is. I absolutely believe that we can turn this thing around. In fact, I know that we do turn it round. If you can be in the future and have a vision back to where we are now, you'll see that we have a little ways to go, but we do come through this, but only with participation of everyone. The longer that people choose to not participate in bringing good and light and love back, it all gets dragged out and protracted. So we all need to come together in love, in harmony, and support each other, and not do all of this divide and conquer thing that they're trying to get us to do. Because when we're divided, we're not a strong, solid force, and we can't shift this as quickly as we might. As you raise your vibration, you get the ability to see through the lies much more quickly, but you also can feel the truth of the potential that we have, the power that we have to actually turn this around and to find the good, timeline. It's a timeline that we can all step onto. I don't want to go down another whole path, or else I'll have you here for another half an hour. I'll talk about that another day. But basically, let's come together. Let's see the darkness, give it no more energy, move away from it, whilst being aware that it's there, and begin to make conscious choices, and maybe stand up and make these people accountable for what they've done. If that's your belief, it's my belief anyway. Come together in light, in love, in truth, in harmony. Raise the frequency, firstly, of your own self, your own body, energy field, and then collectively. And it's that collective consciousness, that's what we're moving towards, so that we can shift everything together, because we are still in this time period of a dimensional shift, and that's what we're aiming towards. So that's enough for today. I will continue this discussion with you another time. Maybe next week we'll talk on this more. We'll see what happens between now and then. But I hope you're on board with me. I hope that you want the same beautiful life that I'm aiming for, and that we absolutely do have the power to create. The potential is there for us if we get our hearts and minds and our vibration aligned to that timeline. That's how we can do it. So none of this divided stuff. Anyway, that's enough for me for today. It's the 19th. We've got this week. I'll try and pop in and say hello, but otherwise we've got Christmas at the weekend. Next time I talk to you, it'll probably be after Christmas. So I wish you a beautiful Christmas with your family, your loved ones. Whether or not this is a religious thing for you or not, doesn't matter. Just come together with love in your heart for one another and for humanity. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.